This video is brought to you by John Robson Guitar Tuition. If you enjoy the content, please consider supporting the channel by enrolling on a course, purchasing some guitar lessons or a t-shirt, or you can join my Patreon. Now, on with the show. Hello chaps, welcome once again to John Robson Guitar Tuition. As always, I do hope you're well. It's Tuesday, which means we're doing a top 5 list, and this is the second of a 2-part series about Harley Benton guitars. Last week we did 5 reasons to love Harley Benton guitars, and I said at the time that in the interests of balance we'd be looking at 5 reasons that you might not love Harley Benton guitars. Some of these are personal, some of them are just general reasons that you may take a little bit of a dislike to this particular brand of budget instruments. So, let's get started straight away with
the name.
Yes, indeed, straight out of the traps with the name, Harley Benton guitars. It's a bit naff, if we're honest, isn't it? There is no Harley Benton. Harley Benton as a person does not exist. There isn't even a Mr. Harley and a Mr. Benton who got together to start making guitars. It's a name thought up by somebody in a marketing department somewhere that they thought it would sound cool. They thought it would sound preferable to, Toman guitars, because Toman are the parent company, or maybe some variation on it, like TG guitars. It just smacks of, being a bit contrived, trying too hard, a bit forced, and it just, I wouldn't say it annoys me, but I just wish they'd chosen a different name for the guitars, something that wasn't quite so obviously, trying too hard and contriving to be a cool, snappy sounding name, because it just never really works when someone's trying that hard. So the name, that's the first thing on the list. Next.
Penny pinching.
Yes, penny pinching. I really do admire the Harley Benton or Toman ethos of trying to produce and attempting and succeeding producing good quality instruments at ridiculously low affordable prices. But I do sometimes think that they spoil the ship for a ha'porth tart, a coin of phrase. Just they make savings sometimes that you think, I wish they'd spent a bit more money there. I would have happily paid the extra to have this just that little bit better. It's often, not always, but often the case with the tuning pegs. And to put that into perspective, these are a set of Vanson tuners. I've put tuners like this onto 2 or 3 Harley Bentons, and it vastly improves them over the stock tuners. Not all of them. I did a review of an SC DLX recently that came with Goto tuners on as standard for £249. But, on the many of the guitars that come in at that sort of £100 to £200 price range, the tuners are often, I think, the weak link, a little bit graunchy and gritty and lumpy feeling. And these Vanson tuners here, you can see £33.90. And they've got a 19:1 ratio, and they're locking tuners. And as I say, I've used these, and they are a vast improvement on the stock tuners that you get on some Harley Benton guitars. And that's retail price, 34 quid retail price. That's what you or I have to pay for them. If you're ordering them, wholesale price in bulk, I would imagine it's not going to be much more than half that. Just spitballing figures here, I don't really know, but it's going to be significantly less. So it's not going to bump up the price of the guitar significantly, and it's, as I say, it's just one of the areas that I really do wish that they would, not be quite so cost conscious when they're, building the guitar down to a price. So yeah, they do occasionally, succumb to a little bit of needless penny pinching, and that occasionally does get on my nerves a little bit. So that's the next point. Next.
The image.
Yes, indeed, the image. Now, being honest here, full disclosure, this isn't something that bothers me one hoot. How image conscious do you think I really am? Look at me. But some people are. This is why you can pay £1,000 for a pair of jeans, why you can pay £10,000 for a wristwatch that won't tell you the time any better than, your Timex or a Casio digital watch or something like that. Basically, functionality isn't everything in some people's eyes. And, their possessions are a way of displaying the fact that, they've done okay for themselves. Life has treated them well. They've worked hard and they've got where they've got to, and they're proud of that, and they want the things that they own to make a statement about that. Personally, I pick up a guitar and it's like, do I like the feel of it? Do I like the sound of it? And do I like how it looks? And as long as I'm ticking those boxes, then I'm pretty much okay. But for some people, that is not enough. Everything has to be about, helping them project the persona that they want to project. And Harley Benton guitars are a budget brand. And to some people, picking up a Harley Benton guitar and being seen with it is a little bit like admitting that life hasn't been as kind to you as you think it should have been. You've not done as well as you would have liked out of life, and that can be almost something to be ashamed of in many people's eyes. Please, as I say, this isn't something that remotely bothers me, but it does bother some people. And I did say at the top of the video that we're talking about things why you might not like Harley Benton guitars, and that has to be on the list, I suppose. Next.
Lack of identity.
Yeah, they do kind of lack their own identity a little bit, I find. And I think this is a shame because they are good enough guitars to stand on their own two legs, to be regarded as instruments in their own right. The CST-24 that you can see hanging on the wall behind me is a beautiful guitar, but it will forever be regarded as a poor man's PRS. I don't care about that, as I've said. Image isn't a thing for me, but I would like that guitar a lot more if it had a little bit more of its own personality, if it wasn't just trying to be, a copy of a much more prestigious brand. And I think as a brand, Harley Benton would get a lot more respect in the industry in certain quarters anyway. If they weren't just seen as cheap knockoff merchants. But then again, you see, I can think of another guitar brand that I've mentioned on this channel in the past that did the same thing as Harley Benton guitars. They produced good quality, affordable guitars, and excellent guitars for the money. They were called indie guitars. And they pretty much sank without a trace, and possibly the reason was because they did try and do something original and come up with their own brand identity and, their own guitar shapes. They did Les Paul copies and PRS copies, but they also, I think their core business was a guitar called the Shape guitar, which was, a shape that was unique to them. It was a familiar looking shape, but it wasn't a copy of, any other guitar's attributes. And, indie guitars, sadly, no longer, I don't think, exist. So I'm guessing Harley Benton must be reacting to, what the marketplace wants. But I just wish they would come up with something that was, a flagship model that was identifiably them, rather than just, okay, well, yeah, let's do a copy of this, let's do a copy of that. I just think it's a shame that they don't do that. So there you go. That's one minor little fly in the ointment in a brand of guitars that, as you know, I otherwise really enjoy. Next.
Availability.
Yeah, availability. Time and time again, there's been a Harley Benton guitar that I've fancied trying out. And you look on the website and it says available in 2 to 3 weeks. 2 to 3 weeks later, it still says available in 2 to 3 weeks. Or available in 6 to 7 weeks. That's another notice they like to put up. That's another time scale they like to kind of build your expectations up over. And then you go back 6 to 7 weeks later and it still says available in 6 to 7 weeks. If it's out of stock, just say out of stock. If it's discontinued, just say discontinued or out of stock till further notice. Don't, just kind of put some thing up on the website where you can build people's hopes up that, oh yes, I'll pre-order that now and I'll have it by such and such a date, and then it doesn't arrive, and you're building disappointment into your customer base when you're doing that. That's not really a particularly smart move. So that's the final thing on the list: availability, and being a bit of transparency of availability. Let's say that would be much appreciated if there could be a little bit more transparent about when guitars are available and when they are going to be available. Yes, so hopefully somebody from Toman is listening to this. And that is the list of 5 things that you may not like about Harley Benton guitars. For me, the scales are much weighted in favour of the things that I personally do like about Harley Benton guitars. But then again, if you've been watching this channel for long enough, you already knew that, probably. I hope you've enjoyed the video, because that's it for today, and found it reasonably entertaining. And if that's the case, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell if you haven't already done so. And why not give me a like while you're at it? Don't forget the live stream every Friday, 5 p.m. UK time, where we drink beer and talk music and guitars and all manner of good stuff. It's a fantastic way to kick off the weekend, and I'd love to see you there if you can make it. But for now, I'll bid you all a good day and say thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your time. Look after yourselves, folks. Stay well, stay safe, and above all, stay sane. Bye for now.